Hi everyone, welcome back to Soul Gardens. I thought for tonight we'd pull some oracle messages. So I'm going to ask the divine to protect our space and to channel messages in for our highest good and ask for the divine spirit guides, angels, ancestors, whatever dimensional beings that are for our highest good intervene on these messages, and that whoever they're meant for to hear, if it resonates with you, it's for you, and if it doesn't, it's not your message today, and that's okay. Check back another time. But let's get into it, okay? Let's see what we got. I think with the summer solstice and getting outdoors and going on hikes and going to the beach and just, embracing nature again. I think I'm going to start with the earth magic today. So let's see what messages the divine has for you. And these readings are timeless, so whenever you find it, you're meant to find it. And let's get something going here for our highest good. And the first card out is the Shaman. Ancient healing and wisdom. So let's see exactly. Oh boy, I don't have my glasses. And it is very small writing for my older eyes. Suppose I should grab my glasses first, but I'll do my best. Let me just find the page. Oh, yeah, that's convenient. I just realized that they are in alphabetical order. Dig that. Make things much easier. Let's hope I can read. Ancient healing wisdom, the shaman. The deep, compassionate eyes of this Native American shaman portray the wisdom of one who has seen and one who knows. He has witnessed visions, spirits, suffering, and joy, and knows that everything that exists has spirit's intentionality behind it. Able to travel beyond the veil of ordinary reality, the shaman's primary assignment is to discern and maintain the balance between what his human community takes from the natural world and what it gives back. When this relationship is out of balance, the shaman must do whatever is necessary to restore it. Balance equals healing. I like that. That resonates with me. I don't know about any of you. Balance equals healing, for sure. You ever feel like when you're out of balance that something's not right with you? Something's not right on your heart. You feel chaotic. You feel instability, Balance really does bring you back to healing. So if something in your life is out of balance, too much work, too much play, too much self-sufficient, like overdoing it, not asking for help, thinking that you can, overly independent, not thinking that you can reach out to others for help. We're communal beings. It's okay to reach out for help. You can be too focused on love or not focused on love. There's got to be a balance, right? What was it I heard today? It was really cool. It had to do with that movie on the biography of the kid who went out into the wilderness, he was hyper independent, didn't need anybody, thought people were a detriment to him. Love was a detriment. Attachments were detriments for him. That true freedom meant being alone out in the wilderness and being, one with nature, I guess. And he ended up eating a plant that poisoned him, and he realized he needed help, so he packed up to go, but he couldn't make it over the river, and he ended up dying in that old van or whatever they found him in. I think it was in Alaska, right? And I'll have to find it. If anybody remembers what I'm talking about, please put it in the comments. Oh, you can't? I have them shut off. You know why I have them shut off? Because until I'm confident enough in myself, being new at it all, I don't want to have any discouragement right now. I'm looking out for myself. So I know I won't get any encouragement either, but I have other ways to encourage myself. But I have enough self-worth issues I have to work on. So, and I've done great strides, but until I feel a little more secure in that, I don't have the energy or the time or the patience to monitor things. I don't want to be drawn to have to look to the comments for what I'm doing right or wrong right now. I just need to flow and do it what I'm divinely inspired to do. And like I said, when I feel called to turn them back on, I will. But at this time, please don't take it personal. I do care what you have to say or think. Please send it towards me energetically. And I appreciate you understanding that. But anyway, they found his last words, the note, and it said something to the effect of happiness is nothing if not shared. So he thought he was going to go out and find this happiness and his peace and his everything, isolating himself out with nature. You know what I mean? And that's a beautiful thing. It is. But we weren't created to be solitary creatures. We have time for solitude. But he realized it while he was dying alone, that all the things that he did experience while he was there, the wonder and the beauty, on some level fell hollow without someone there to share it with. No one to laugh with. No one to banter back and forth with. Sure, he had no one to argue with. I'm sure he argued with himself eventually. We're humans. Eventually, we're gonna, we're getting a little testy now and then, even with ourselves. But, when I heard that today, I found it so true. There's things that I discover that I get so excited about, and I'm happy that I know them. And the fact that there's no one else to share them with, that lights up about them the way I do, it's kind of lonely sometimes. I mean, my children suck it up, and I'll share my weird things with them, and sometimes they get on my, eclectic, eccentric, whatever you want to call me, bandwagon, and they'll dig it. And then other times it's like, okay, Mom, yeah, that was cool. Look at that stick in the ground and how the wood grain goes. Okay, thanks, Mom, for that. Whatever it is. Um, but to share that with somebody that gets you, that hears you, that sees you, there's something beautiful in that. Magical. The exchange of energy off of each other, it's very uplifting. And you can't deny it. I can tell myself, so, you know, the cows come home. The kind of old phrase. Even if I told a cow, it'd be cool and all. I might get mooed at or whatever. Wouldn't be the same without telling another soul, human soul. Something about human connection. It's beautiful. It's divine. And I appreciate it. And so did the poor guy dying in Alaska. This is his last words. Happiness is nothing with no one to share it with. Just saying. So for those people afraid to share things out there, afraid to share their inner thoughts, their feelings, their life, their love, that's what we're here for. And sure, it could hurt it sometimes. It could hurt. But when it's right, the joy you feel, can't buy that. Can't buy that. That's ecstasy. Not the street kind. So, the shaman. The shaman lives his life in ceremony and treats everything with reverence, including the great mystery of death. An even greater mystery, life. He works with his spirit helpers, including his ancestral spirits, to help him in his service to his people, to his Mother Earth, providing a liaison between the spiritual and the physical worlds. Charged with this revealing suffering as one of his priorities, the shaman does so by first and always tending to spiritual wound, the source of the illness. These healing powers have been passed along over the millennia from the ancient ones who knew the healing and I need my glasses for this one, the healing and curative powers of spirit. Sorry. So, all illness, whether physical, emotional, psychological, stem from illness of the spirit, according to the shaman philosophy. It may be due to soul loss, psychic intrusions, ancestral karma, or any other spiritual cause that could be contributing to the manifest condition for which you seek help. Now, mind you, I am not a doctor of any sort. If you feel like there's something wrong, there's nothing wrong with seeking a spiritual healer or a alternative practitioner. But always seek modern medicine advice as well. There's nothing wrong with seeking both modalities. Just like we said at the beginning, balance, right? You have a balance of holistic medicine and you have it balanced with modern medicine. And a lot of modern medicine doctors and a lot of holistic practitioners are now combining forces, science with nature and the spiritual. I mean, come on, it's all connected. Let's get it together here. We're not against each other. We should be working together. Wonder Twin powers activate, right? The more, it's part of the collective thinking and the sharing and Happiness is nothing without someone to share it with. We all have gifts. We all have reasons we're here. We should be sharing them for the elevation, the highest good of all. So, in my philosophy anyway, you should be seeking both practical means for healing that's available, as well as spiritual, an alternative. We should be able to combine forces. We shouldn't be at odds. Oh, I don't do that because it's not natural. Well, if you break it down to a molecular level and how it began, it kind of is, right? Well, I'm not using that bionic foot. That's not natural. Would you say that if you needed a foot? Come on. Let's work together here, people. We'll get way farther ahead if we don't, the modern medicine people, that's just a bunch of woo-woo. Is it? Is it? We need to be more open-minded. So, anyway, off my soapbox on that. Whether other methodologies or remedies you pursue, whether allopathic, alternative, or combination, I wonder if that means modern medicine. It's a new word for me. If I can read it. A, is that an I? Holy frick, I need my glasses. Anyway, we'll just keep moving. And remind me next time to wear my glasses if I'm going to be reading out of this book. Holy crap. Let the healing of your spirit be your priority. Know that the deepest spiritual wound is the illusion of being separate from source. Facts. If you are so focused all the time on material things, you're never going to quite feel right inside. You can have all the houses and cars and clothes and the best job going. You can have everything the world can offer, but if you're not right with spirit, again, things are going to be hollow, and you're going to try to fill it with all sorts of things that are never going to fill it. The only thing that can fill your soul, that hole, is your soul being right, spirit. And ultimately, keep harping on it. It's all about love, people. It's all about love. Balance love. Because you can be so spiritually minded that you're no earthly good. Well, I can't get my hands dirty and help that cause. I'm too busy over here, meditating all the time. And I got to worry about my own spiritual practices and doing this and that. That's cool and all. You should take time to work on yourself. Absolutely. But if you're hoarding it and you're not sharing it to help other people and elevate the world and elevate your neighbor, are you really doing the spiritual practice? Or are you doing ego? Look how holy I am. There's got to be a balance. And I'm not saying you have to do some great, public act of kindness. There are lots of acts of kindness people do every day that go unnoticed, except to the people they did it for. Right? It's not done for accolades. But if you're always running to the gym because you're focused on your physical health and then you got to go run and meditate, and then you got to read your spiritual books, and then you got to go to work, and now you're going to bed. I hope somewhere in there you find time to do something to contribute to society, to the world, to other people, even if it's a kind word. I'm not saying break your back or anything. Not everybody can go, on the ocean and stop whalers or whatever your calling is on the planet. Not everybody has time to do soup kitchens or, But what if there's an old lady next door and she needs her lawn mowed and she can't do it? Mow her freaking lawn, guys. What's going to take you? 10 minutes? There you go. Done. Nobody knows but you and the old lady. Cool. Spirit knows. And here knows. And that does a lot. Goes a long way. A little goes a long way. Sure does. So, let me try to read again without my glasses. Don't laugh. Okay. Where was I? Sorry, I forgot. Okay. Great Spirit, or whatever name you give the Creator, Native American, a lot of them, I even count say, oh, Great Spirit. It is the trick of the mind that creates this sense of separation. We get so fixated on the material and the 3D that we forget that if we're not right in here, things won't be right out there. So if you have relationships that are out of balance, mother, sister, coworker, lover, whatever it is, and you know they're out of balance, if you're able to make amends or try to heal that situation and communicate, take action where it won't put yourself or others in jeopardy and danger or do more emotional harm than good. And if those are the cases, then that might be something that you have to at least try to find ways to make peace within yourself about it, and say some prayers for them and release that. Because sometimes disrupting somebody else that we really want to make amends with might cause them more harm than good, depending on the situation. So those are unfortunate circumstances, but everybody's circumstances are different. But if you're not in one of those types of situations where it could cause harm, or they're past and you could still talk to them in the spiritual realm and heal that, have a conversation with them. They can hear you. Somebody will get them the message. Whoever you believe, we're all connected. Healing is healing. Communication is communication. We're infinite. We're eternal souls. So even if they're past, you can still resolve that. You can write things down, release them by burning them after, if you just need to get it out, if you can't communicate directly with the person, but you need to just get things out. There's all sorts of ways to heal your spirit. But we avoid it, or we poo-poo it, or we don't think it's necessary. And then we walk around carrying wounds. And we have triggers that can hurt ourselves and other people. So it's best, physicians, healers, heal thyself. And go get other helps through other modalities to teach you and give you the tools to contribute to healing yourself. So, let's continue. Oh, I don't know where my glasses are. Let's see. Call upon your spirit guides and ancestors to help you with any emotional, mental, or physical healing that you need. Call upon the Creator to assist you in mending any rift in your relationship with Spirit. Choose thoughts that support wholeness and well-being. Allow any darker thoughts or shadows to appear as well, but simply observe them as they arise in consciousness. Then they dissolve. See yourself as healed, whole, and complete, and it shall be. Let me read that part again. Allow any darker thoughts or shadows to appear as well. There's light and shadow. We have to know how to be able to work with both the light and the dark, both light and the shadow, however you want to call it. We can't just run around being all, beings of light that ignore that there's shadow sides. It's not realistic. That's false spirituality, in my opinion. And you could be, out there promoting the light, don't get me wrong, but you have to know how to tango with that shadow. Balance, again. We don't want to hate our shadows. We want to make friends with our shadows. We want to integrate them because they're our ally. They're there for a reason. And usually your biggest wounds become your greatest power. You're powerful. You've been through some shit. Heal it. Love it. Embrace it and use it for your highest good and the highest good of others. Don't run from your shadows. Face them. Heal them. Understand them. Why do I do this? Why do I feel this way? Sit with yourself. Know thyself. If you don't know yourself, how are other people going to know you? If you don't learn to love those parts of yourself, you'll never believe another person can love those parts of you. But they can. Once they're healed, and you're not bleeding all over everybody else. And every once in a while, even once those things are healed, you might break it back open, but you're not going to be gushing like you were. You'll be able to put a Band-Aid on that real quick, and the bleeding's going to stop, where before you might have needed a whole tourniquet. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, back to the blind, leading the blind here, right? See yourself as a healed, whole, and complete. So you gotta, when you're facing your shadows, and you're still working on things that are mountains that are hard to climb for you, but you're still climbing it. It doesn't mean you shut out the world until you're completely healed. I can't talk to nobody. I can't love anybody. I can't let anybody love me until I'm completely healed. No, we're all here to help each other. The right people are going to help you with that if you're open to it. If you're closed off and you're not on a spiritual journey and on a healing journey, then yeah, stay the fuck away from people if you're going to hurt them. But, if you're not consciously aware that you need to improve, some people are just stuck in their ego and they don't think that they need any work on themselves, and they can hurt people. Maybe not purposely, but in a way, default, because they think they're just, perfect where they are. And that's not very many people. Most people know that they're not perfect and they got shit to work on. That's why I said, if you're that much in your ego, maybe you should stay away from people until you handle that. Because I don't mind people that are working on their shit. And, you know damn well they're trying. And they own their shit. And they can apologize. And they can seek amends or help on things to improve. And not just that, they'll allow you to reciprocate. Like, if you needed help from them, they'd reciprocate. They'd say, hey, what can I help you with? Because one person may have tools that you don't have that can help you heal that. And vice versa. If I need help with something and I'm stumped and I don't know how to heal that, well, you might have that tool. Hey, this is what I did. Want to talk? I can explain to you. Maybe it'll help you. But see, if we don't communicate, if we don't share, if we don't get a trusted soul tribe going where we all want to elevate, uplift, and help each other to heal the world, you get farther when you share, right? So, anyway, let's see. So, call upon the Creator to assist you in mending any rift in your relationship with Spirit. So, let's think about that. Some of us, for whatever reason, we're grown up with no spirituality, no religion. Some people feel religion is not spirituality, it's completely different. No, there's very much spirituality within religion. It just depends on how you're doing your practice, and vice versa. You can be so scrupulous and what's the word I'm looking for? Rigid in your spiritual point of view and practices, just like a religious. It basically becomes a religion with how some people practice their spirituality, right? There's no leeway. It's very rigid, very strict, very structured. And some people need that structure. No shade. But, again, people are at odds with, oh, I don't do religion. Oh, I don't do spirituality. That's a bunch of woo-woo. Oh, people, whatever works for you to make you kinder, gentler, more compassionate, empathetic, productive member of society, to elevate your soul and elevate the world. Who cares how you're doing it? Because I guarantee you, energy doesn't care how you're doing it. The Creator, God, Source, Universe doesn't care how you're doing it. They're just glad you're doing it. You dig? Okay. So, again, ancient healing and wisdom, the shaman. Holy cow, that was like pulling teeth for me without my glasses. Whoever stuck with me through that, I appreciate you. We all have an inner shaman. We all have ancient ancestors that had spiritual practices way before the modern societal ones, right? What do you think they did? Okay, so take some of those elements because they're relevant, because they got you to what you have nowadays. Like, parts of that have been integrated into what you see now. So, to know where you came from and how it evolved how it got derailed or reinstituted. Some of that history is helpful because it gives you a broader perspective and a way to reflect upon the greater purposes behind each way, each evolution, each structure. So you can take pieces of everything you're researching and learning about, and you can take little pieces and alchemize them into something that works for you, for your own self, for your own soul. You don't have to follow what somebody else is doing if it doesn't speak or resonate with you. You might very well find a practice that other people are doing and it's great. But honestly, if you think about it, we all tweak it. You might dig the vibe and how they introduced you and got your little toe wet. But most people eventually start, they take over the reins and start doing a lot of their own stuff that they end up integrating. And that's pretty much, what people have been doing since the beginning of time. They start out with curiosity and, they see things that can't be explained and feel things that can't be explained, and they start experimenting, asking, seeking, curiosity, discovering. That's what we should still be doing. And then integrating it into our lives that best suits our own souls. Not our mother's souls, not our neighbor's souls, not even our spouse's souls. If you can find a spouse that's equally yoked, it's better. It sometimes can be very difficult to be a very spiritual person or very religious person when your spouse isn't. I mean, it can be done. Don't get me wrong. But when you're both doing it together, when your two souls unite with that creativity and that fire, that spark of divine imagination and creation, and you can each take bits and pieces out of each other's creativity to live a soul-filled life. That's exciting to me. I don't know about you. I mean, that shit's hot to me. Damn. All right, so people are like, oh, don't you want to, look at his muscles. No, man. Look at his freaking mind. Look at that soul. That shit's hot. That's what I get turned on about. Don't get me wrong. Physical attractiveness. You have to be attracted to your spouse, to your partner, to your companion, right? On a physical level to some extent, correct? Come on. The first thing that attracts you to somebody that you notice, usually, you might feel the energy when you look at them. You can feel that. But it's also, from across the room, it's a physical prowess also that draws you to them, And if you give the physical without the mental, without the spiritual, you don't have that Holy Trinity going on. You got to have the material, the mental, the spiritual to create that Holy Trinity, that holy union. You know what I'm saying? That, when they say when Two or more are gathered in my name, I am with you. It means a human in spirit. Same with marriage, when the divine union, right? You have the masculine, the feminine being united in spirit. It's a divine trinity. So I guess I'm some level, I could be wrong, but I'm just throwing this idea out there off the top of my head. Like the material, you're attracted to them physically, so that's your material. But if you don't like how they think, you don't like their mental, say they're really, things they think about and the things that they do off those thoughts maybe aren't the best things, what you think about, you bring about. For me, it's just me. If you're only going to talk about things in the material world, you're going to lose me mentally. It's just me. And I'm not talking nature and stuff, because to me, nature is part of the spiritual world. Creation is part of the spiritual world. I'm talking about man-made stuff. Fucking $sign stuff. If all you talk about is your motorcycle and your car and, your Rolexes and, your fancy job and, whatevers, you're going to lose me real fast. But if you're thinking about, hey, I wonder why, when I look at a sunset, I feel such peace. I wonder why the waves soothe me. I wonder why the sound of the whales attracts me. Whatever it is, contemplation of a higher level of thinking. To me, that's fucking hot. Sorry. So you got to have the Holy Trinity. If you don't, to me, there's always going to be a gap. The physical, the mental, and the spiritual. So if you're not thinking of those things, when you go into the spiritual, well, what do you mean? Like you just said, thinking about, your morals, your values, how you act in life, your mental, contemplating the universe, your mental. Well, then what's the spiritual? Taking action, right? You can think things all the time. What you think about, you bring about. Sure, but there has to be an action. Your material, mental, and spiritual, the Trinity, they're connected, dude. You can't have... You see what I'm saying? I think you're picking up what I'm putting down. A spiritual practice isn't a passive practice. You have to be active in it. What are you doing? And usually, besides self-service, it's other service. Purpose service. Purpose-driven spirituality. What is your higher purpose besides yourself? When we're learning and we're healing, we hyperfixate on ourselves, and damn right we need to. Because we probably neglected ourselves and other people neglected us most of our lives. Because we were too busy taking other people or people pleasing, we were abused, whatever. And yeah, a lot of people who have been through trauma and abuse are highly spiritual or religious. Just facts. Because there's a lot of religious people that go to church every day. They just do it out of tradition, out of, culture. But the people that I've seen that end up really into it, it's because it was a last-ditch effort to save themselves mentally, emotionally, because they were hurting so bad. So a lot of times, your best spiritual people were probably your most hurt people. And they're serving to help other hurt people. You see, we're reciprocating. That's why if you're hurting, or you want to stop hurting, and you want to heal, and you want help, there's other people out there. Just got to find them or pray. Ask Spirit guide you. Ask your angels. There's certain beings that can't intervene without you asking for help. Just ask for help. And keep a sharp eye on the horizon. Weathered eye on that horizon. You will get help. And sometimes it's not in the form you expect. Or even in the way you like at the time. But there's purpose behind everything that happens. It happens for a reason. And once you realize that, even if not in a moment, take a deep breath, step back. Holy shit, why did that happen? Eventually, you're going to reel that shit back in and you're going to be like, oh, I get it now. Damn. Wish I knew that sooner, but okay. I'm going to learn the lesson then, huh? So, next card. Let's see what else we got. Give me a second here. Since we're on the nature. Oh, and by the way, at the bottom of that deck of the earth magic, it was forest. Breathe. See? It was on the bottom. I don't know if I showed you the shaman. There's Mr. Shaman. Hello. Can you see Mr. Shaman? So, I don't know about you, but I take a lot of time. I know it's not, it's probably reversed. Sorry if it says forest backward. How you say it backwards? Tissesorf. I don't know if you say it backwards like I do. Anyway. Breathe. Breath. The breath of life. The breath of nature. Just breathe. Breathe it in. Go out in nature and smell the dirt. Just smell it. Smell the leaves. Smell the water, the mist in the air. Smell the cedar, the pine, or the gardenia. You know? The breath of life. If you take a minute, and you just put your hand on the earth. Say this is dirt. Put your hand on the ground in a forest, on a soft, warm bed that used to be a peat moss bed. I love the feel of it. You know, you can feel that it's almost like hollow in there and soft with the needles and all of that. Anyway, it's almost like you can feel the rise in the fall. of the whole earth. Breathing in a rhythm, in a flow. Same with the tree. Now it's a tree. Put your hand on the bark. And you can feel that tree's energy. You can feel the energy coursing through it when you touch it. It's the breath of life. You're part of it. We are not just material beings. We're spiritual beings. But we're also mental beings. What we think about, we bring about. With physical and material action for the elevation and the highest good of our spirit. Because ultimately, we are not humans having a spiritual experience. We are souls having a human experience. You can't neglect one or the other, or we're out of balance. So, what else? I'm going to go with my cute little Whispering Woods. It's like a little pocket deck. And they're just quick messages. And I used to pull one every morning just to set my day off, and I bring them to work with me. I haven't done that in a while. And I can feel it when I don't bring some card or some kind of deck with me. Because when I get, overstimulated, it happens to me very easily. I had a lot of things happen in my life, and I've gotten a lot better. But I get overstimulated very easily now, more than I ever did in my younger days. And so to calm myself, I have to do certain things so that I do positive things and not, negative things can impact me. I learned to control when I feel anxious, impulsive, or whatever, overstimulated, overwhelmed, to try to harness them, focus on a positive way to alchemize that energy instead of negatively taking out on myself or others. Okay. So let's see what we got. And if I look ridiculous to other people, isolating for a minute and crying or grabbing my deck, and I think, what's wrong with her? Whack job? I don't really care anymore. Because you don't know my story. So, and the people that love me will understand and they'll support me. And you shouldn't be judging people anyway. So anyway. Perfect. What we've been talking about. Look what I pulled for us. Reconnect. Hopefully it's not backwards. I'm not very techy. It's probably a way to flip it around, but I don't know what. So we're going to have to run with it. Anyway. Reconnect. These cards are so cute. I don't know how well you can see them, but oh, squirrel. Oh, possums. It's just a beautiful little deck how they made it. Anyway, reconnect. Here we go again. Guys, I don't have my glasses. Secrets lurk in the captive shadows deep in the woods. Okay, let's think about that. Reconnect. Secrets lurk in the captive shadows deep in the woods. Yes, it's very awe-inspiring and reflective, prompting to go for long, dark walks in the woods. It certainly is. It's very humbling and connects us with something primordial and ancient when we do it, you know? But also, I believe it's also, to me, it's like spirits telling me to say, secrets lurk in the captive shadows, not deep in the woods, but deep within ourselves. Our own dark forest, our own woods, our own shadows. We all have a dark, scary forest within us. We all have our own forest of Fangor in there, you know, that we shouldn't go in because the shadows and the creatures that live in there might eat us alive, hurt us again, capture us again, take hold. Secrets lurk in the captive shadows deep in the woods. There's secrets that lurk deep within your own woods. That, one, either you've kept buried from yourself because you don't want to face them. Two, you've suppressed them or don't remember them. They've regressed and they're crying out for attention to be heard. Other people have silenced them because they just don't want to look them or remember them, because it could be something that makes them feel guilt or shame, or it just brings pain, unhealed pain. But also, besides that, secrets lurk in captive shadows deep in the woods. There's secrets that lurk deep in your woods that also could be magical, expansive, transformative, transcendent in nature too. Because what do we think about? Secrets can be something bad, right? Secrets don't keep friends, they say. It's like gossiping kind of secrets, right? Or lies. Keeping secrets from people you love or people you don't love. Just, there's malicious secrets and you're doing it for your own gain, right? Or because you don't, and then there's secrets that you keep because you don't want to hurt somebody. And if you could, eventually you'll be honest when the timing's right. But some you just know would bring about unnecessary pain. And certain things are just left unsaid. There's all types of variations of secrets, right? But I'm talking like the esoteric kind of secrets. Like, you know, the Knights Templar, Mason, Druid, ancient, shaman, the shamanics, you know, angelic, you know, God, Metatron, you know, infinite type of secrets. This tells me secrets lurk in the captive shadows deep within the woods. So there are powerful secrets that lurk captive within yourself that you need to go in the woods and go hunting for, because they're yours. They're your gifts. They're a part of you. that you've forgotten, you don't remember, that you came here with. And these secrets lurk captive in the shadows deep within your soul. And maybe you need to reconnect with your spirit, with your higher self. And once you take that little nature hike into your woods and you sit on that nice, cool wood forest ground, pine needles, dirt, newts, bugs and all, whatever. Sit. Breathe, right? We have the breathe card. Just go sit in the woods quietly. Find a sacred spot. Make a sacred spot. Breathe it in. Talk to your spirit. Spirit will talk back. Ask your spirit guides. Ask spirit, the creator, ancestors, angels. Reconnect. Ask. Unlock your Akashic records. Have you looked into that shit? Go Google that. Secrets lurk in the captive shadows deep in the woods. You have woods deep within you. Little Red Riding Hood. The wolves in these woods are your shadow wolves that if you make friends with will not eat your grandmother. I promise you. They will protect you though. And they will help you elevate. And they will help you elevate others. Once you go into these woods and you find that wolf, that big bad wolf. And you befriend him. And then he won't eat you or others around you anymore. See what I'm saying? Hope you get what I'm saying. You can see the drawing on that, the art. Look at that little animal pictures. Better camera, but I just love the old art. Very humbling for me. Anyway. I'm going to pull one last card for the night. Then I have to go to bed. I get up every day at 3 a.m. Not because I like to, but because I have the drive to thrive. Because I'm going to keep pushing forward. Because I don't always know where I'm going or what's going to happen when. But I always know my purpose behind everything I do. And my purpose is always for my highest and the highest good of all those around me. And to be one with spirit and to try to be a light in dark places for people when they need me. And I'm not always perfect at it. Sometimes people piss me right off. But quite often during my day, even though there's people around me that piss me off, there are those who just appear in my presence, in my energy. And they'll say one little thing. And my little feelers go up. And the universe says, oh yeah, Go into their woods. Say that thing I just had you think of. And whole other conversation will happen. And you're going to help plant a seed today that might lead to some healing for this person. So if I get divinely inspired when people come up to me about the randomest thing, but I'll get a feeling, say this. And sometimes I don't want to, because I'm busy or I'm tired or I don't feel good, or I want somebody to ask me for a change, how I'm feeling. How about that? And not just ask me how I'm feeling just out of politeness. How you doing today? Oh, I'm doing fine. Okay, later. No. Someday. It's so nice. I almost feel like crying. For someone to give a shit about taking care of me for a change instead of me taking care of everybody else. Be nice. But that's okay. Because I got me. Spirit's got me. And there are certain people in my life that have me the best they can in their way. But I know that that's what I'm here for. So as long as I can fill my own cup back up when I need to and take my hermit time away to regroup, I can do it. There's some days I can't do it for other people. And a lot of times on those days, I avoid people. Not because I don't love people, but because I know my mission here is to help people. And I need to help myself that day. Because I'm drained or I'm healing from something. I'm working on some more healing for myself. And I need that time in that space. And I will shut down. And I will go full hermit mode the best I can. And it's hard to do when you are at work for 12 hours a day. And then you come home to children. So you're never really alone. So sometimes the only time you have to regroup is to run in a bathroom. Or when you're in your car. And that's it. And if that's what you need to do it, because I do it. Hey, I haven't seen much of you today. There's a reason for that. I'm avoiding people because I need to heal something today. And I just don't have it in me. I mean, if somebody was in my face that day, I wouldn't be rude anyway. And if God, Source, Universe, the angels, put them in my face at that moment in time, knowing that I'm trying to be an avoidant and get away from people, then it definitely had to be for a reason. And as long as I breathe for a minute, I clear my mind, and I be here now. I come in the present. I remove myself from what I was doing within myself, what I was working on. I get out of that, and I switch gears. I can be very present, but I have to go back when I'm done with that and focus on me. Otherwise, I get cranky. And when you don't have anybody to share all your things with and bounce off ways to heal with, and thank God for YouTube. Honestly, I wouldn't be here right now without it. Without those people. Facts. So another thing, technology provided me with my digital, electronic, internet, whatever you call it, web collective soul tribe to help me heal. And I appreciate that. I'm very grateful. Just as much as I'm grateful for the waves and the trees and the birds and my loves and my children. I'm grateful for all the modalities that we have to help evolve and better ourselves. So if you're like me, and people just seem to come up to you, dogs, people, kids, whatever, you know, and they need you. I don't know how many animals I've rescued throughout my life to help them. And you know you're overstimulated that day and you need to heal some stuff. And you try to avoid it. And they're just, you can't avoid them. They're just in your face. And you can't get away. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing that they're in your face, but you get what I'm saying. You just know you need silence that day. And you need to heal, and nobody's going to understand it. And nobody's really going to take the time in your environment to listen to you. Because a lot of people just don't care enough, or they're not deep enough to even grasp what you're thinking, unless they're in that tribe, man. They just, what are you talking about, you know? All right, have a nice day later. Or people are really good at just talking their own problems and never want to listen to yours. Whatever. I'm here to help heal people. If I can plant a seed, shed some light, whatever. That's what I'm here for. That's what you're here for, right? That's why we're talking right now. And I would feel guilty a little bit if I blew them off when I know that I was divinely guided and they were divinely guided to me. They're brought to me. I am a servant. I am a servant. And I'm okay with that. But you have to take the time for you where you can get it. Whether it's the shower, your car, the bathroom, or walks, whatever it is for you, do it. Because they'll drain you. They'll drain you. And you'll take in all that emotion and all that weight and all that heavy energy. And it will weigh you down. That's why we need balance, right? Brings us back to balance. Balance. So, shadow and light. You want to be the light. You also got to take care of your own shadow. You want to bring peace to others. Got to have time to make peace. Have peace for yourself. Okay? Not a bad thing. So before we go, let's see. What should we do? My butt's getting tired. Oh, this is way too small a print for my eyes tonight. No, thank you. Okay. We'll do angel numbers, okay? I'll be down with the angel numbers, and then I gotta go to bed. So what? Oh, they're just flying out so far. Two have flown out. I haven't even spoke yet. That's 3. All right. All right, universe. Whew. Is there anything else? You've already given me 3, and I'm getting tired, universe. Anything else you want me to read that might resonate with the collective for their highest good? Maybe it's just these cards are slippery, but oh my God. You know, and I know people read and they say, oh, that's too many. Oh, that's too many. And I get it, because sometimes I get way too many. But then I also believe in, if you believe everything happens for a reason, how can you say it's too many? It's usually just because, okay, let's just break it down to what we really need to know, because I don't have time to read all that. You know, I feel that. All right. Like right now, I'm getting a ton. All right, universe, is that it? Because I'm tired. Universe says nope. Oh my goodness. Man down. So, you know. So, I'm going to shuffle. I'm making a mess with these while I shuffle, I tell you. That was the last time I shuffled these. These cards are new, so they're kind of slippery. All right. So, I'm going to quickly shuffle this deck. I'm going to pull 3 cards off the top. One wants to be seen. Didn't flip. I saw it, and there it is. $505, and I got 2121. A whole bunch of them flew out. These are very slippery cards. I'm sorry. While I'm shuffling, I would just like to say happy summer solstice. And I pray that you find healing within your relationships, whether it's platonic, romantic, or with yourself. Okay? May you find balance and harmony with others and within yourself and with your spirit and with the spirit of others. May you find balance with your material world and your natural world, as well as your spiritual world. May you have the Holy Trinity in your life, in all of your relationships, especially your romantic ones. You're going to spend the rest of your life with these people, right? You want to get married. You want to, domestic partnership, whatever your vibe is. You want a hand fasting. You want to, a promise dedication or whatever, or you just want justice for the peace. However you roll, man, I don't care. You do you. But wouldn't it be complete ecstasy, even in those difficult times? Especially important during those difficult times, right? If you're with someone that your mind, heart, and soul are aligned with, your heart, what you drive, what you go for, your material, right? Your mind, what you think about, what you obsess over, what you fantasize, what you dream, and your spiritual. What's your faith? What do you believe in? How do you carry that out? All those things are very, very important not only to have a successful personal relationship with yourself, but when you got other personalities and other perspectives and other backgrounds and upbringings and cultures and behaviors, you better have the core things pretty much aligned, don't you think? Or at least be willing to work on evolving them together. 333 just jumped out. As I'm talking about relationships. And I'm talking about the Trinity. So I guess I'll read that card because we were talking about the Trinity. Let's see. It's so funny. And we were talking about support. Holy crap. And getting help from others. Not even going to lie. I don't know if it's upside down for you. We went over that earlier, but I'll read it real quick and then I'm going to bed. Okay. And the rating's a little bigger, so maybe I won't struggle so bad. It says 333 support. Expansion, inspiration, confidence, connection, purpose, mastery. Wow. Let me read that again. Expansion. What did we say? Don't be like that dude in Iceland, in Alaska, and realize when you're all alone dying in a van down by the river, right? That happiness is nothing unless it's shared. Expand your circle. It's okay to be the hermit, but at some point you got to come out of your cave. I am the most hermit Virgo, hermit, traumatized, in fear, conditioned person growing up as a child, whatever, avoidant, confrontation, or over anxious people pleasing to keep the peace person growing up, and in my adulthood to keep the peace in the family and in relationships. And then I withdraw and isolate and go hermit. Hardcore. And it only does you so good for so long. The hermit, what's he do? If you look at the Led Zeppelin, what's he got? He's got the hermit on that Zeppelin album, man. What's the hermit do? He comes out of the cave shining the lantern. That lantern, that light, represents the wisdom he learned during his isolation. He doesn't stay there in that darkness. He comes out with that light to share it with others. That's what you have to do. Go find your soul tribe. Okay? Go help heal other people. And guess what? They might trigger you once you communicate with other people about real things. And you might realize you need some healing on some other stuff. So you go hermit again. Or, hey, you could just find people you can communicate this kind of stuff with, honestly, that don't judge you. And you say, hey, when you did this, it made me feel this way. Why do you think that is? Or, can you help me on a direction or whatever? You have the right people around you. They're not going to make fun of you. They're not going to look down at you. They're not going to judge you. They're going to love you even more for it. And they're going to help you and the best they can. They might have a tool you can use. Or unlock some door. Whatever. You won't know if you stay isolated, though. Just saying. Okay. Like we said, 333 support. Focus inward now. Perfect the skills you have, uncover new talents, and unleash your creativity. Embrace your inner artist. Expressing yourself will enhance your self-esteem and solidarity of purpose, and solidify your purpose. Your unique abilities can have a positive impact on your community. What did we say? Go out and help others. Can't make this shit up. I love it. Okay. I'll read it one more time because I stumbled through that. I'm sorry. And you know, I need brighter light too. Oh, I'm whining. I gotta go to bed. Okay. Focus inward now. Perfect the skills you have. So you know you have some skills, right? Focus inward. What are your skills? Write it down if you have to. I'm a Virgo. I fucking love lists, man. But if you're not a Virgo, be a Virgo for the day. Make a list. It's helpful. It's fucking helpful. Okay? If you're like me, you might lose your list. But, hey, at the time, it was so helpful. So, focus inward. Perfect the skills you have. If you know you have a skill in it, and you have a passion for it, but you know you have some shit to work on, so fucking work on it. Focus. I have a Gemini moon. Holy squirrel, Batman. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Geminis are jack of all trades, masters of none, because we're like, okay, figure out what you want, what you're good at, what you want to be good at. Hone in on that skill. And perfect it the best you can. Get proficient at it, okay? Uncover new talents. So once you perfect the ones you have, to your best ability at the time, right? Because we're always great, changing, evolving. What we think we got, the best, highest at one thing. Today, 10 years from now, we might be like, we didn't know shit. Holy cow, I got way more to learn about that, right? So at the time where you are right now, perfect the skills you have. In doing so after, uncover new talents. And they'll do that as you perfect the ones you have. Just that discipline and that curiosity and that devotion, right? And that drive. You will naturally, bringing it back to that other card. You will naturally, I gotta shift my butt. Sorry, guys. Unearth those secrets in your woods. What are those unearthed secrets hiding, lurking in your woods? Those, you will uncover new talents. Gifts that you've had buried, hidden underneath the peat moss plants in your woods. Your inner woods, right? And once you find that you got more talents and unleash them on yourself and on the world, while you're honing in and perfecting, you will find that you will uncover new talents, new secrets in those woods, right? And how do you do that the best way? You fucking play. How do kids learn? How do puppies learn? How do animals in the wild learn? They play. They're actually learning, but they're playing. They're being creative, right? So be creative. Be playful with honing in your skills and talents. Everything doesn't have to be so serious. yes, you can be focused, but you don't have to be so stick up your assy. You know what I'm saying? Be a little more creative and embrace your inner artist. You don't have to be like everybody else. You don't have to do it like everybody else. You only have to do it like you. That's it. You're not here to be or do things like anybody else. So, perfect the skills you have, uncover the new talents along the way, and unleash your creativity and embrace your artist. Embrace that creative side. It says expressing yourself will enhance your self-esteem. Because you're doing it. You're empowering yourself. You're playing. Kids that are playing and having a good time are not miserable going, I suck at this. You know, I don't want to play anymore. This is too hard. I'm bored. It's because you're doing it like everybody else. It's not bringing you joy. It's not your purpose. It's not, you're conforming to somebody else's will, somebody else's way. You see what I'm saying? But if you take something of your own, even if you're stuck in a place like a 9-to-5 and you can't really go outside of the box too much, you can still be creative with it. You can still perfect something that you're talented in and find while you're there something else that you didn't even know you could do. And you can still find time to learn while you play. Expressing yourself will enhance your self-esteem. Repressing yourself will shrink. You shrink yourself. How many times do we shrink ourselves to please other people? We do it at work. We do it in our families. We do it in our romantic relationships. I don't want to, disrupt the peace. So even though I'm hurt or I know we need to talk about something, I'm just going to avoid it because it keeps the peace and I don't want to, So you walk on eggshells. You change a part of yourself. You hide a part of yourself to make somebody else feel good. So what happens when you do that? You shrink yourself, right? And you start losing your own self-respect, your own self-esteem. When you start covering up who you are and what your needs are and what your feelings are, when you shrink yourself to please other people, you lose your own self-esteem, your own self-worth, right? So expressing yourself, whether people want to fucking hear it or not, whether they understand it or not, whether they get it or not, doesn't matter. You do you. Unleash your creativity. Embrace your inner artist. Expressing yourself will enhance your self-esteem and solidarity for purpose. You see what? Your inner child, your inner artist, your inward gifts, your spiritual gifts and talents, your self-worth, all in solidarity with your purpose. Your unique abilities can have a positive impact on your community. Incredible. And you don't even have to go out and be like, a community activist for that to happen. It's that good old ripple effect. Just by your positive interactions throughout the day. It's planting a seed here. It's skipping your little rock across the lake that day. How many people did you hit with those ripples? And then they feel better. So then they're kinder to somebody else. And then they send out ripples. So your little micro ripple, like I've said this before, turns into macro ripples. And you don't even know how big it's getting. But it keeps going. It's infinite. You did that. So, never be afraid to say what you're divinely inspired to say. Always have empathy. Always put yourself in positions where you're able to serve others in some capacity, great or small, but don't forget to serve yourself as well. Because one person to the other person, all these people that come at you during the day, it just seem to float to you because you just have a certain energy about you, and people just seem to want to tell you stuff. And that's a gift. It really is. Just remember, those people, each individual that approaches you throughout your day, that needs you or talks to you for whatever reason that you're planting a seed of healing for, they don't know that you've already done that with 5 other people within the past 3 hours. You might be getting a little drained at that point because they're like the 5th person in 3 hours. You know, and it's nothing against them. It's just you're getting a little tired. Try your best to retreat for a little bit and ground and regroup the best you can. Salt baths, sound healing, incense, beat frequencies, walks, barefoot, hug a tree, whatever you got to do. Splash cold water on your face. Hey, water's got memory. It's magical. It's ancient. If you need to visualize going into the woods, maybe rubbing the belly of that wolf of yours. Whatever you got to do. I love you. I hope you have a beautiful summer. And I hope Spirit came through for someone tonight that needed to hear something. See you soon. Thanks for watching.